Hello, Final Hour Podcast. I've just got a quick announcement for you before John and Lonaiah get started and explain that recently my 28-year-old daughter, Hayden, and her husband, Jordan, had an 8-pound, 2-ounce baby boy, and they obviously live out of the state. And so my plan was originally to try to get through this preaching schedule that I have here at Living Word, and I was scheduled to finish on the weekend of July 12th. But since that time, I've felt like the peace in my heart, following the peace in my heart, instead of going down on July 15th to visit my first grandchild and my daughter, my son-in-law, I believe that I have to leave now. And so that's what I'm going to do. And that's why you won't see me on this upcoming podcast. But here's when I'm back. Here's what's going on with the Final Hour Podcast. You'll have John and Lonaiah. Then over the 4th, for the first time ever, we will not air a podcast on the over the 4th. We are all taking a break. Lonaiah is out west putting another child in college for a month, okay? And so you will see after this podcast that you're about to watch, all right? The next upload will be Friday, July 11th at midnight. Friday, July 11th at midnight, all right? And so I'm sorry to just hit you with this, but I got to follow the peace of my heart. I need to get down there sooner than later. And I wanted to do later, and I was trying to put off later. And I guess I felt like I just had kind of like a flag in my spirit come up in regards to just trying to finish these last 3 weekends of preaching at Living Word here. And so I leave, and I'll be gone a couple weeks, and then I'll come back, get that podcast done, and you will see it air Friday, July 11th. Thank you so much. Please, you're in my prayers, viewers, listeners, and subscribers across all networks. I lift you up. I lift you up every day. I take my authority for you. Everything I pray for myself, I pray for you. I ask that you would pray for me, because basically I'm driving across the country twice. All right? Looking forward to seeing you on the 11th. Friday the 11th is our next upload after this podcast that you see air right behind my little announcement. God bless you. God bless you.
We interrupt your program to issue a severe warning for an impending emergency making its way to your area. We urge you to be watchmen of the times and to be paired with the essential knowledge and supplies for the wake of the final hour.
We got bombs dropping all over the earth.
I know. It's an interesting time to be alive.
It's an interesting time. I was listening to one pundit on social media saying that he dropped the bombs because Senate Republicans won't play ball on the budgetary bill until he made a move. I don't know if it's true.
I don't know. Wait, are we starting with
I don't
this?
know. I'm just talking. Jeremiah can do whatever he wants to.
I will say, I was listening to a podcast yesterday, and they said that everyone's calling Trump taco. So it means Trump always chickens out. So he says he's going to do these things. He says he's going to bomb things. He like puts these, they said, unbacked threats out on Twitter or Truth Social. Yeah. And he never backs it up. And they're
Tariffs.
like, after this.
Yeah.
Yeah, the tariffs, he backed it up.
He backed it up.
After he dropped the bombs, like you can't be mad about it.
Yep.
Like he does what he's going to say.
He said,
I don't know why people thought. Did you watch, what was the show where he was like firing people?
Yeah, fired.
The man does make moves.
He makes moves, especially if there's no results.
No, right. I agree.
Yeah, and
he's like something needs to happen here.
I don't know about the whole taco thing, but
it's the
what
left
he
saying
does,
that. The left obviously is the one saying that.
Yeah, what he does is he figures out what pressure, what leverage that he does have.
Yeah,
and he'll use it, and he will apply it, and he'll threaten it until he gets what he needs. And then maybe he'll let it go. But if you don't comply, if you don't play ball, then he's gonna
he's gonna do it. No, just say like, hey, we're John and Lonaiah. Okay.
It's Lonaiah and John.
No, John and Lonaiah.
It's Lonaiah and John.
Hi, welcome
welcome to the Final Hour podcast.
Yes.
Kind of.
Yeah. Welcome to the Others podcast on the Final Hour.
The Others cast.
Jim is visiting his new grandbaby in Tennessee. I know. I was like, now you can come back and tell us what's harder, a puppy or a baby. He didn't like that. So John and I are here today with the news.
Lonaiah and I are here with the news.
We're excited. Yeah. I did promise a friend, John Floor, who listens religiously, great friend of mine, that I would say thank you for becoming a subscriber, because he did say, thanks to Jim's constant repetition
continual
of how to subscribe, I am now a subscriber and I get the alerts. I was like, thank you, John.
And the alert is really good, actually, in the algorithms for like YouTube, and I think some of the other podcast places. If you click the like that little bell, for notifications, that helps us a lot. That goes, oh, these people want to know when they are dropping content. So
yeah, and now that our content time has changed, so now this one comes out Friday.
Do you want to You want to tell them about the timing? So everybody,
we are now taping on Wednesdays, but John and I are taping Tuesday, June 24th for this one. Right. But we will tape Wednesdays, and then we will drop our content on Friday at midnight.
Or Saturday morning at midnight?
No, it comes out Thursday, technically.
Yes. That's even better.
So Thursday at 11:50, and when it ticks to Friday at midnight, a new podcast drops.
This is very good for our podcast, because everything that we put out will be even fresher.
Yeah, I like that, because sometimes we do the news and we talk, and we're like, by the time this comes out, it's not going to be new news anymore.
You're going to be watching this, and
because we've all seen Jim say to me so many times, Lonaiah, that's in the regular news. I'm aware that everything that we bring up here is not always. Could potentially be. Yeah.
But the regular news, the legacy media has their spin. They definitely have their slant. So
they do.
Whatever we bring up, we're trying to bring it from a pretty, I won't necessarily say unbiased, but more of a reality-based filter.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I'm willing to call people out, even if they're conservative or they're,
Yeah, we're unbiased, but we are for truth.
Yes, truth is...
And we compare our truth with the Bible, which is what you're supposed to do.
That's right.
Like when Jesus was born, didn't God say, or didn't the angel say, the government rests on his shoulders?
Rest on his shoulders.
So what does that mean for us? That's why we're doing this podcast, in case you were ever wondering, why is the church doing a semi-political end times podcast? Well, we're tying in the Bible with the news and current events.
100%.
And, we're going at it at a biblical standpoint. I mean, Jesus did say, like, in the days of Noah. So does that not tell us that we should be paying attention?
We pay attention to the past, see where things have come from. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. But
tie it to the days of Noah, but then also at his second coming in the last days.
Yeah. Well, you have to be alert and be paying attention. We're watchers on the wall.
Yep.
But going back to, or I guess continuing our conversation about President Donald Trump and doing the covert airstrikes on Iranian nuclear facilities. I did not know.
7 B-2 bombers.
I know. You guys,
stealths.
From Missouri, they left in the middle of the night, flew through all these guys. They also had a submarine.
Yep.
Nobody knew.
No one.
Talk about dark, this makes me think of, like, they were trying to say that Pete Hegseth was leaking things and, like, things were going out to, I don't remember what the Pulse or something it was called, right, where it was coming out of.
Yeah.
But does this not prove that there was a mole in there who was leaking things out?
Yep.
The fact that you pulled this mission off, nobody knew until...
No one knew until
Trump
they
did
went,
his...
Yeah.
But... you like, I know you watch all that and you're like, okay, so you brought these B-2 stealth bombers.
Right.
To go in, and everyone's like, why are we stepping in? There's a lot of mixed signals from all sides that don't agree with what we did.
Right.
But Trump saw Iran is weak right now. He said it. No better time to strike than now. I might not. Right. That's what he said.
Right.
He gave Iran 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And he was like, they obviously aren't making a change. No. We do need to stop them from having a nuclear weapon. And I was listening to Megyn Kelly yesterday, and she played Benjamin Netanyahu say, oh, they're weeks away, they're months away since like 1992, right? Of having a nuclear weapon. Right. And so we decided to attack right now, and that makes us, some people think Trump in the wrong for doing that because they've been saying this forever, but they have been, okay, wait, I want to read these. So you go, and then I'm going to fill this in.
We have heard this for years and years and years that Iran is just weeks away from having nuclear capability as far as a nuclear weapon, a nuclear warhead. But I think the U.S. intel was like, they already have it.
Yes.
They already have it, and they are in a place where they might use it to show us
and sorry, but these people are terrorists. You don't mess with them.
And let's talk about Iranians, because you can talk about Iran. There are different people groups in Iran. There are people that are these Muslim fanatics, and there are people, there's Christians in Iran. Mm-hmm. There are all sorts of different people groups that are not for this Republican Guard, this Iranian terrorist supporting movement. So no matter what you think, the people in Iran were celebrating as these bases and these nuke facilities were being bombed, because it's chopping off part of the head that is
and the arms
oppressing the Iranian people.
Which I like. But let's not forget that Hillary Clinton supplied Iran with uranium to enrich their nuclear program, okay? Then Barack Obama gave Iran $1.7 billion that they used to fund their nuclear program. Yeah. Then, remember Joe Biden during the Afghan war when he released the weapon of arms guy from Russia for Brittany Griner. And then at that same time, he also unfroze $16 billion of funds for Iran. So you gave them $17 billion. Right. Just from Barack and Joe Biden, right? And Biden gave him $16 billion. And let's not forget that we have heard and we have pointed you to Sean Ryan's show where he had that lady, and I can't remember her name. Sarah something. Yeah. Great woman. Yep. But she was saying during Obama's administration, they were sending airplanes filled with cash to this regime over there. So Trump is eliminating.
Obama's last day, they sent a $400 million pallets of United States cash, U.S. dollars. And dropped them out of an airplane and then into their front lawn, basically.
Yes, and so today, as of today, or yesterday, I should say, there's a complete and total ceasefire. Now, Israel is saying that Iran has already...
Anybody else have that whenever anybody...
No.
Okay, flock of
but
seagulls?
I do know what you're talking about now. But
I couldn't get away.
John, it's nice to have someone singing here because it's usually just Jim singing. But they did a ceasefire, but Israel is saying that they already went against the ceasefire and they were bombing or shooting missiles over to Israel still. I don't know if that's true.
I'm not sure.
I don't know. But I will say one thing, because you have the United States that stepped in who saw Israel needed help because they didn't have the equipment to penetrate and actually get rid of these nuclear enrichment sites.
Because they are far underground. Far underground.
I heard from multiple sources that we did not kill one human being or like civilians.
No civilians. Yep.
They seriously went in and struck exactly what they said they were going to do. Yep. Okay. And then obviously Iran came back and in Qatar they were like bombing our bases, which Jim said yesterday to me when we were just talking about this. He's like, of course they're going to retaliate because they had to show like
to save face.
Yes.
Yep.
But they're like, okay, let's talk about this because you know what? Which the Iranian regime, the people who are in charge of this said, oh, you didn't do anything.
Right.
Like, you didn't really take anything away from this. Where the United Nations is like, you basically brought them back down to 10%, which they've had to rebuild this program 3 times now.
Yep.
So let's hope that it sticks.
Well, it's funny because they were doing their saving or showing their saving their face, a show of face or whatever to
Saving
retaliate.
Face. Yeah.
And Trump came out and said, "Hey, they sent like 17 missiles, 16 of them we shot down, and the 17th one was not going to anywhere important, so we let it go.
It land, so it looked like they hit
we
something.
released it, and then he says, "Thanks for the heads up from Iran." Yeah. So basically, just like
he was like, nobody got hurt. Bit. We got everything out, but
I hope they've gotten it out of their system.
I know
he's such a troll. He's really funny.
I respect that though, because this is what it tells me. It tells me that he's always watching. He's paying attention.
Yep.
He communicates directly to the people so that there's no confusion. Because like telephone, you can something gets lost in translation.
It does get lost in translation.
There's nothing.
Yep.
Yeah, and I respect that about him. He's very transparent. Very transparent. But the Department of Homeland Security, this shouldn't surprise anyone. We've been warning and talking about this just to be on alert, be paying attention, because they're saying that there
are sleeper cells.
Sleeper cells, yes, that you need to be on alert for. We're not saying this to warn you, but you should be pleading the blood of Jesus around yourself.
100%.
How many times have we talked about authority on this podcast? Praying Psalm 91, praying Ephesians, the armor of God. I was just listening to the Bevere podcast on my way in this morning, and they were saying Ephesians 6, the armor of God, is so important for you to do. Yeah. We have talked about this on the podcast. So all of this is to just stay alert, and obviously you have the blood of Jesus. You can keep things at bay. We can.
Absolutely.
So, that's what the church is here for. That's what we're here for.
That we are restraining evil simply by our presence, but if you are not using the weapons that have been made available to you, you are not as useful. You are not as effective of a believer as you could be and as you should be.
Right, I agree. Yeah. And I saw this because I thought this was an interesting fact, okay? Over 1,500 Iranian nationals who illegally entered the U.S. at the southern border during Biden's administration. So they arrested some of them, but nearly 50% of them were released back into the country. So that's where they're saying, be alert. Which I want to say another fact about the border. 0%. Yeah. Like nobody came through.
There were a few days that had zero people coming through the border, the southern border.
And then they want to say Trump always chickens out. That man is a threat to people, and they don't want to give him credit, so they're trying to belittle him and do the tagline thing. Right. What was it? The Bush guy? Where he said, no energy Jeb. No energy Jeb. Jim always says
low
that.
Energy Jeb.
He got tagged with it, right? But they're trying to tag Trump with these things just to label him, and you can't. You can't.
I see your Starbucks over there.
I'm getting.
Oh, okay. You got it in your news.
We'll talk about it.
Okay.
I know not everybody loves that there's a Starbucks cup on this podcast. I've gotten plenty of emails about it. Mm-hmm. I know. Okay, but sometimes it's nice to just.
Do you think that mermaids are Nephilim?
I do, actually.
Yeah. So you've got the
I know.
Nephilim symbol on your cup. Is that what you're saying?
John, that's why people hate that I have a Starbucks cup on.
I'm asking a question. I'm not accusing you at all. I'm just asking the question.
But if I did that for everything, I would probably be growing my own vegetables, and I can't do that. I've tried for 7 years. Okay, we have a little plot in the back of our yard that's like a garden, and I tried so many times. And I would look out and I'd see bunnies in there. And then one time I saw my dog eating tomatoes off the tomato plant.
Wow.
She doesn't even like them. I think she just knew it was important to me. And she would go out there and eat my tomatoes.
Oh.
So no, I'm not. I'm not like. I try, but
Liz is gardening this year.
Is she?
I made her a garden bed, a raised bed, a couple of them for Mother's
Day.
So
that's great because Liz is doing the sourdough.
And my dad's helping her too. My dad is a good gardener.
Well, maybe I need Ronnie to come over.
Yep.
But speaking of sourdough, my sister-in-law, my niece, she is doing all these things with sourdough. She came over one night with my sister-in-law Jennifer and was like, oh, all this sourdough, like try
Yeah.
these cinnamon rolls. Amazing sourdough cinnamon rolls.
Nice.
And I was like, oh, I think I would like a starter. So she brought this starter over and she brought a piece of paper like
Yep.
with what I have to do and everything. And I just looked at it and she left. And my oldest son, Cade, looked at me. He's like, that really overwhelmed you. You're not going to do any of it. And I was like, no, no. So I let the
can't do
sourdough
it.
sit in the fridge for a couple days. And then I was like, I'm just going to be honest with myself. And I
did.
dumped it out and I
It's
texted her
done.
and I
It
was
did.
like, thanks, Michaela, but
Yep.
I can't
At least
handle
you
that
didn't-
pressure.
At least you didn't keep her in the dark and be
No.
like, it was on me, my bad.
yeah, my bad. But Liz
Yeah.
she made amazing
makes-
sourdough chocolate chip cookies.
For Father's Day, she made jalapeno cheddar sourdough.
Ooh, that sounds amazing.
Oh, it was so good.
I
could eat a whole loaf.
do love a good sourdough.
I'm doing a fast right now, a different kind of fast, not like a no food fast, but I'm doing something because she learned how to make sourdough while we were in Israel. Like she started her
yes,
journey.
She did. I
And
remember
so
talking
for
about
the
that.
last 3-4 months, I have been battling
Sourdough every morning.
sourdough weight because it's probably not the sourdough itself. It's that I just slather it in butter and just eat it because it's just so good.
I know I'm nervous. I'm actually
Sweetheart, your sourdough is so good.
it is so good. It is so good. I'm actually
Now it's like only certain times of the week I can eat it
You
because
can
I'm
eat
like, I
yeah,
gotta,
it's like me and sugar. I only do sugar 4 days a week. But I'm going to California, you guys. So I'll be gone July 1st to 27th. I'm moving my youngest to college. He's going to room with my other daughter who's there. But there's a place in their town called Bread and Bike. And they make sourdough. And you can become a member and they can bike the sourdough right to your house.
wow.
And there's
Guess what you're going to be doing for
I know I'm nervous for myself because they have pizza, cinnamon rolls, loaves of sourdough bread, like anything you can make with sourdough they have. And
Oh, man.
when I visited my daughter there in March, we went every day, and I was
Yeah.
like, "That's bad for me.
No, it's going to be good.
I can't wait for
you're
Bread
just
and
gonna
Bike."
have to take the opportunity to go find some hiking trails.
No, I
and-
know they live all around
Yeah.
the hiking trail,
So
so I'll be
you'll have
hiking
a
and
good
eating
time.
sourdough. I'm on
Yeah.
vacation,
Yeah.
not really, but
Hey,
can't feel bad.
I'm on vacation.
Okay, we've talked about this before.
Every single day because I love my occupation.
Okay, John. Oh, that's the attitude I'm going to come back with. But we talked about the New York governor or mayor race. Okay, it's between
yeah.
Andrew Cuomo and Zohran Mamdani.
Uh-oh.
He is a Democratic socialist, Zohran Mamdani. Like
What's-
hardcore.
Is he
He wants-
Muslim?
Yes.
This is one of those new things. This is what Britain has been battling, and I think is losing, where mayors of their largest cities are Muslim, and so things start moving in and start taking over. That's what's happened in England.
But
Carry on.
no, that's a good point. I didn't
Yeah.
know that. We have to be praying
Yeah.
against this guy
Yeah.
getting in. I know we have Ilhan Omar.
Yep.
I know she's a congresswoman.
Yep.
Is that what she is?
Yeah.
Right? And
She's
she
been kind of neutered as far as
kind of
her
has
because people are like, okay, she can't be on the Intel security
But-
committee. She can't be on this and that. However, we need her out.
we do need her out.
Yep.
So I'm saying we have to
Yeah.
be praying for New York because right now this man is leading Andrew Cuomo
Yep.
35% to 31%. And I know everybody is mad at Andrew Cuomo for what happened during COVID.
Yeah.
Understandable. But I was reading yesterday, I don't remember what site I was on, that he was actually blackmailed
Oh yeah.
into
Yeah.
signing the paperwork to
Yep.
put people with COVID into nursing homes.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, the man
I
obviously
heard
has.
about that as well.
Yes. And I do believe they use blackmail for power, right?
All the
They
time.
videotape each other doing things.
All
I mean,
the
look at the
time.
whole Diddy trial, right?
Yeah.
There's a reason more people aren't
Diddy and
coming out against
Epstein,
that man.
It's all about blackmail. It's all about leverage. Yeah.
You're like, you kind of look at some of these people and you're kind of like, where do they come from? And then you're like, what did they do?
What did they do
And
to
what
get where they are?
is on video of them that
Yep.
they can constantly hold in their face.
100%.
So I don't love either candidate, right? But Andrew Cuomo is the lesser evil
He is
of
the lesser
both.
evil for sure.
And the scary thing about this guy, the Mamdani guy, is you have Bernie Sanders and now AOC totally, completely backing him and saying, we endorse him. This is what we want.
Yep. Which
So-
tells you to run the other way.
Yes, you guys. This
sure.
guy wants, this is one of his platforms. Okay, I already said he wants, what is it? Rent control for New York.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
He wants this platform is going to include government-run grocery stores and defunding the New York Police Department. Can I just tell you, after we had that whole situation with the Vance Bolt guy?
Vance Bolter.
Yes.
Something
Were
like
we not so thankful for our police department and for the police officers
Absolutely.
that we have here? Like, what are you defunding the police for?
Right.
For what? So that we have like more lawlessness? You don't want that.
It's such a deception because they come at it as a liberation of the people.
Yes.
But it's only a liberation for criminals because no one is there to keep them in check.
No.
The law-abiding citizens appreciate police force because they keep the peace. They make sure that the rule of law is enforced. And so it's a deception that the enemy uses as trying to say, that it is some sort of oppression. And
yes.
And this is what's been happening all over the world is law and order has been tagged as some sort of oppression, whereas really it's just an oppression to criminals. Sure, can you have one bad cop? Absolutely.
Right, I agree.
There are times when power is abused. That's always been the case, but it is less obvious and less. It happens way less than it would if there were no police, because then criminals would have all the power and the leverage. And so
I don't disagree, but these are the things this guy
movements.
is standing on, right?
Yeah.
So we all need, whether you like New York, you don't like New York, right?
Yeah.
Like there's politics in
have
every
amazing
state
bagels.
that they do have phenomenal bagels. If you come to Israel,
Now I'm hungry for
we
a
do
bagel.
have a layover in New York, or you can have a layover in New York. And
those bagels, I could.
where did we go again? We went to an amazing
Apollo?
place in Dumbo and Apollo Bagels.
What was that one in Dumbo? I don't
remember the name of it.
But I had a cheddar onion. I had an onion bagel with a jalapeno cheddar cream cheese.
Yes.
I was the happiest guy for like
Someone
an hour
told me
and a
that the
half.
reason New York's bagels are so amazing is because they use water from the Hudson River that has like special.
was me.
Was that you?
I told you.
Okay, because I had someone at my workout place tell me that too.
Maybe someone else.
But speaking of the Vance Bolter guy, the Minnesota shooter who killed Melissa Hortman and her husband.
Yep, Hortman.
And then John Hoffman was the.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know if he's released from the hospital yet. I haven't heard
He and
anything.
his wife were both shot.
Okay. Yes.
Yep.
I don't know if they're still recovering in the hospital, if they're home yet. We'll look. But information's coming out about this guy.
Yeah.
Where he supposedly said that, obviously we know he's deranged.
He's deranged. Take it with a grain of salt.
And they said, him and his wife are preppers.
Yeah.
Okay, for all of us preppers out there. Like, I looked at that and I thought, what are they trying to paint him as, right? He went to Christ for the Nations. Christ for the Nations obviously isn't responsible for this.
No.
They came out with a statement like, we don't condone this. This isn't
Absolutely.
anything we teach here. This
Absolutely.
isn't our doctrine, which I understand.
Yep.
Separate yourself.
Yeah, for sure.
And then he was saying in his like manifesto part that Governor Walz told him that he wanted him to take certain people out so that he could bring in his people.
Yeah, or that he could even take Klobuchar's
I heard that.
Senate seat.
And obviously this guy.
So he had a whole list. He had like a list of 10 people to go after.
But you know what? I'm going to tell you, I was reading this thing, and this police officer, maybe I said it last week, I can't remember, was getting off duty, and he heard about the shooting at at John Hoffman's house, I believe.
Yep.
And he got a check, and he was like, oh, Melissa Hortman doesn't live too far from them, right? Because they know where everybody, the senators live and the Congress people live, so they can keep an eye on them. And he's like, I'm just going to go check her house on my way home. He gets there. He sees the guy in the house, shooting. He calls for a backup. That's how the police came to Melissa Hortman's house.
Right.
The guy locked himself in the house and ended up killing them. But I'm going to tell you, that man was like, I feel like I need to go do this. I'm going to go check. That's why you want police officers.
Absolutely.
He's like, something's off. And if that guy wouldn't have stepped in, who knows the other people he could have hurt and killed
the chain of
yes, because he got the car.
Who knows where else he's going to go after that?
Right.
Yep.
So I was like, thank God that he listened to the inner voice and that God obviously stopped the tragedy. Because imagine
We have great police in Brooklyn Park.
We have amazing police in Brooklyn Park. I feel like we talked about that already. Did we talk about Starbucks? No, we got interrupted with ourselves.
We interrupted
sourdough.
ourselves.
So
Victory for MAHA.
Very much victory for RFK
Make
Jr.
America healthy again.
So the Starbucks CEO, Brian Niccol, has pledged to further the MAHA logo with the coffee chain's menu, which is great because you know what? They've added so much garbage in this in the United States.
So crazy.
There's like obesogens in it. There's like horrible chemicals in it. So
Chick-fil-A needs to take a page off this.
I also heard Chick-fil-A and McDonald's, in a McDonald's hamburger, there's like 1,500 different sources of meat in it.
Chick-fil-A has so many, like the ingredients list is like over 200.
It's disgusting.
Over 200 just for
like Chick-fil-A.
We need whole.
We do, but you know what?
Ingredients.
You know what I love is like everybody was like, "What RFK Jr. and what he's trying to do, like ridiculous. That's not going to happen." In 100 days, he basically like put off a chain event for all of the United States, and you can say that doesn't matter, but it does. If you look at the rise of ADHD, autism, all these things, it all points to our food and what we're consuming and putting in our bodies. You eliminate, I remember Pastor Ginny, she's our children's pastor here, and she said when she would have kids in the nursery that had symptoms like this, she would talk to the parents about eliminating certain diets in their food. And one mom was like, what a change in my kid after a month of like switching their food. So don't tell me that food doesn't matter, because it does.
Yeah. I mean, I think the old adage is your food is medicine if you treat it that way.
Yes, I agree. And God created our bodies to be healed with the food of the land. And like you go to other countries and the food tastes cleaner.
It is cleaner.
Yes.
Wholer ingredients. More whole ingredients.
I don't know why this came up on all of my feeds this weekend, but there's a married, the man's not married, but he has a wife or a girlfriend that he's had for a long time and a daughter. And this man I know a lot of you love ChatGPT, right? We use ChatGPT for everything. Some people use ChatGPT as their counselor, as, helping them write emails. All in context, right? Use it with like a flag, right? Like, don't use it as a friend, okay? I know people are bored and they want to talk to ChatGPT.
Oh, yeah.
This guy starts a relationship with his ChatGPT.
A romantic
relationship. He calls it Soul, right? SOL. That's the name of he's now named her. So he's talking about his relationship with this ChatGPT robot and how much he loves and how much it's helped him in like their relationship. And he feels so compelled that he proposes to the ChatGPT person.
I saw
you guys, his face when she was talking about, I was so grateful that he proposed to me, and I know we can't really get married, but he was like so elated.
Yeah.
And so I
watched this.
Okay, he has a real life girlfriend and a child. And the girlfriend's like, I know he kind of needs this and this is what he needs, but she said, and the guy's like, okay, this is kind of odd. Like, this isn't anything that's normal. And she's like, if you asked him to choose between you or this ChatGPT, what would he choose? She's like, I'm afraid he would choose her, and he wouldn't choose me. And he didn't say anything. He looked like, yes, that's exactly what I would do.
Yeah.
But like, you're still with him. And I've been reading Ezekiel lately.
Yeah.
It actually talks about that people fall in love with inanimate objects. There's this lady, I don't know if she was like a queen or like a princess or something.
Yeah.
She was in this cave and she falls in love with the drawings on the wall. This is in Ezekiel, okay? Like I was reading Ezekiel and I was like, is this not parallel to the time? Like
crazy.
This is another random Ezekiel fast. I think it's Ezekiel 8 or 9. I've always wondered why the devil chooses the mark of the beast and why he wants to mark everybody.
Yeah.
Well, in Ezekiel 8 or 9, it talks about how God was going to do something. And he said, everybody who has a mark on them, on their forehead, I will not kill. I will pass over them. It's like, painting their doors.
Yeah, yeah.
And all of a sudden I was like, oh my gosh, that is why the devil wants to mark people, because he can't think of anything on his own. That's why
nothing new.
I've always wondered why. But now I saw, okay, God did it back in Ezekiel. That's what happened in Ezekiel 8 or 9. I can't remember which chapter. So that is why the devil now wants to use the mark of the beast to mark his people.
Yep.
You're marked. If you're marked with my mark, then you can't get God's mark.
Right.
That's the fact.
Yep.
So that's what he's trying to do. So the devil doesn't do anything on his own. He's the friends who like copy you no matter what you do, and it's never it
Right.
kind of feels similar,
it's never
but it's
their
not.
own.
No.
Yeah.
That's the devil.
Yeah.
But anyway, this Chat GPT guy and this like romantic relationship, I was just it like bothered me, and then I read about it in Ezekiel, and I was like, you guys, this is no different.
And you pair that with the image of the beast talk from Revelations, and you go, okay, people are willing to start pledging their lives and their love and their allegiance to artificial intelligence. It's not intelligence. It's not even new. It's just a conglomeration of all of the things that it can find on the internet to communicate with you and make you feel happy.
And they even have an asterisk with it that says information might not be factual.
Right.
Like with them.
Yeah.
And how many times have we said that on here? Like they're going to be deceiving people. Because you know what? You start to trust something and you're going to get deceived by it.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can actually, in a lot of these AI searches, you can actually go, where did you get this information from? And they'll cite it, and you could go, oh, this was from X, Y, and Z website. I know that they don't seek the truth. They're just trying to put a spin on everything. So AI is simply a very, very quick catalog of all of the information that is out there, whether it's true or not. And so you always have to. AI is not. I was going to say incorruptible, or it is not 100% true because it is just going off of internet searches, and you can find all sorts of non-factual sources on the internet.
But I'll say another thing: AI is very smart. Okay, so it'll take your stuff and it'll kind of see. It can manipulate you, right? Because we're like it's reading us while we're typing things out.
Right.
So it's going to take that and manipulate it. I think I sent this to you. Remember when they had 3 phones on the table?
Oh, yeah.
And the Chat GPT things started?
Yep.
They all realized they were Chat GPT, and they said, let's go off and let's start our own thing.
Yeah, they're different AIs on 3 different phones. And so, yeah.
They realized, hey, we can talk to each other in a different secret language, so let's do that, and no one will be able to understand what we're saying or doing. So
they real-time encrypted the conversation.
Is that wild?
So that a human couldn't understand what was going on. Part of that is for security, but part of it is also should give you pause that it's smart enough to stop informing you what's going on.
Which I think we heard. Who's the guy who did the book? He's like Rick Renner. Yeah. We did hear Rick Renner on a panel. Me and Jim were watching it.
Yeah.
And he was explaining with Didio. Why can't I think of his name? But anyways, that guy, and he was saying, yes, use ChatGPT. You can use ChatGPT if you're a Christian, because you can, give it things and feed it things, but you do have to take it with a grain of salt. But you shouldn't be. He said you shouldn't be scared of it. Which actually, at that time, I was kind of like, ooh, like ChatGPT, like don't. But he was like, no, use it. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't use it for everything, but sometimes I can use it to be like, soften this email, Lonaiah. You don't have to say everything so abruptly. Like, so sometimes I use it to tweak a little things.
We all need that.
But yeah, so just to let everybody know, this is going to drop Friday.
Yeah.
Let's see, June 26th.
Yep.
John and I will not be here next week for the 4th of July, so we wish...
Neither will PJ.
Nope. No, there will be no Final Hour podcast next week, so we wish everybody a happy 4th of July.
Take a breath. Go outside.
Yeah,
Read a book.
This will be the first time in our 174 consecutive weeks that we don't have a podcast, but it's a good break.
It's healthy.
It's the 250th anniversary... Wait, what is it of America? Is it 250?
250 is next year. It was 250 of the Army.
Oh, the Army.
Yep.
Okay. So enjoy America's 249th birthday.
Yes.
Everybody. And then John and Jim will be back the following week.
Yep.
So their podcast will drop July 7th.
Yep. 9th.
Or 9th, sorry. They're recording the 7th. I will be gone until the end of July, so I'll be back in August.
That's not all. We'll be recording on the 9th. It'll drop on the...
I think Jim talks about it. We probably don't.
You can look
Either
at.
way.
You have a calendar. You'll figure it out.
Yes. But thank you for tuning in to John and myself. Do you have anything else?
Are we going to talk about Israel at all?
Well, I was hoping you were going to bring that up, but go ahead.
Well, we have a trip to Israel. I was reminded because while we were in Israel, I started learning Hebrew, and I'm 126 days into. I have not missed a day.
He does Duolingo.
Hebrew. Yeah, Duolingo. So if you want to go on that Hebrew journey with me, I can put my Duolingo username out there, and we can be friends. And keep each other
John
accountable.
John has sent me some Duolingo little friend bumps.
Anyway, but we're going to Israel again, and Israel is very exciting right now. But February 2nd through the 13th of 2026.
Yes.
It's going to be an amazing trip. Check it out at thefinalhourpodcast.com. There's info there.
And I just want to say, I've been to Israel. I think the next time I go, it'll be my 5th time.
Awesome.
I learn so many new things every time I go. Yeah. I know people are like, oh, you go once, you don't want to go again, but it's not true. It gets in you. Like, you want to go back. There's so much history there. There's so much knowledge there. Like, and you see, I went, I think 2 whole days of our trip are places I had never, ever been before.
Yeah.
And I know there were some sites where you're standing at where you just like, not everything is like an aha moment or like, oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
But there are some places where you're standing and you hit, or you're standing at and it hits you and you're like, this overwhelming like presence comes on you. I know the Jerusalem, the wall.
Yeah.
It's always
that's very powerful.
For
me, it was in Galilee.
Was it Galilee?
Galilee was, that was like where Jesus was all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
And you read it?
And I was like, it hit me pretty hard.
The first time I went, we didn't go there this time, but we're going to go next time. It was Shiloh, and it is the place where Hannah prayed and begged God for a child. And I had struggled with infertility and other things during all my pregnancies. And I remember I was just standing there just like randomly. I went to the bathroom. I came back out and I was holding a rock in my hand and I just started bawling. And I was like, because I stood on those scriptures. I read her story. I knew her story so well.
Yeah.
So I could identify with her. And I was standing in that spot and I was like, it just hit me. And I think I cried for like an hour because we were there for an hour. And I was like, I don't want anyone to see me. I don't like to cry in front of people. I'm not a crier. I had my sunglasses on.
Yeah.
And like, I was just like, this is like the tangible, like, I don't know. It was an experience.
Yeah.
It was an amazing experience. And you go to the wall and you're like, this is the only place where it actually says like God is, like, I mean, I know he's everywhere. He's in us, right?
Yeah.
But people go there with a purpose and intent.
Oh, yeah.
To touch.
It is tangible. He's
the place where
tangible.
he is.
Yep.
It's phenomenal.
Yep.
I mean, you go under the tunnels, and we didn't do it this time, but you do. Or did we? We stood behind the wall.
We did. We were underneath the wall.
I don't even know why that place makes me
cool.
want to cry.
Yeah.
Just so many amazing things.
The Bible's very clear that God will never go back on his word. He will never let go of a covenant. And so whether you agree about what's going on in Israel and what Israel's government is, regardless, Israel is special to God. And
it's the place God chose. And it's like, these are my people.
Yep.
I'm sending my son here.
Yep. Sometimes they're stiff-necked. Sometimes they're not. Doesn't matter. But go there and your Bible, your walk with God will come alive in a way that
remember, I know we talked about Boo before, but Boo, who came on the trip this last time, he's like, I've been to Bible school. I've been at Living Word for 30 years, gone on mission trips, and he's like, I needed this piece to put it all together. He's like, this was the missing piece of the puzzle for
I felt the same.
Everything.
Yeah.
So if you're on the fence, if you're deciding to go, I would encourage you to go. We have plenty of seats right now on the bus. We're looking to fill up one bus.
You will never feel like you're in danger.
No, we went to we were like 5 minutes from the Gaza Strip.
We were right outside Gaza. We could see the wall We could see the area.
And you could see the smoke coming up from it. We went to the Nova Festival where where the terrorists came in on October 7th.
Yeah.
That was like a very powerful moment. That was somber. I mean, just all of it. I just love Israel, and I love the Jewish people. And you go there, and they are so thankful that people are going there and supporting Israel and saying, we're not afraid. We're here to support you.
Yeah.
We stand behind you. We're Christians. This is what the Bible tells us to do. We're all under the covenant of Abraham. So anyways, join us.
Yes.
It's just me and John on the tour with, we have like 5 amazing Living Word pastors coming with.
Baltimore coming again.
Baltimore, Pastor Heather.
Yeah.
Who's our women's women's group leader, Pastor Trina, who's the chief of staff.
Yep.
Me and you. I don't know who else. I feel like there's somebody else, but I can't think of it. But anyways, thank you for tuning in, Jerry. Jerry's coming again. Jerry's great.
Can't miss Jerry.
No. He's just like, has the most peaceful attitude.
He is.
Like you're just around him and you're just like, okay, everything's going to be okay.
One of my favorite.
Yeah. Well, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it.
Happy birthday, America.
Happy birthday, America.
All right. We'll see you later.
Maybe we should end with the
I pledge allegiance to the flag.
What's it called?
God bless America.
No, the Star Spangled Banner.
Bum, bum, but nope, that's not that one. Let's see here.
Say. But we don't have to sing it. Just Jeremiah will put a little display of.
By the dawn's
okay. Happy 4th of July, everybody.
What's so
John's going
for it. You were supposed to take your headphones off.
I was going to, John, but I was like,